I already know what it is. I'm a little early today. It's a reason. Just a little bit. We lit tonight. Now I wanted to talk about a few things on my mind. Well, really just one thing. And as we dive in this tonight, I just want to say I can talk about this because I did the work. Real shit. Everything that happens tonight, I did the work. Okay? I did the work. That's why I'm speaking on it. All right? Reconciliation, right? Sometimes things don't go the way we want them to go. Sometimes they go chaotic, they go crazy, and it be over some of the most craziest, smallest things. Y'all get into it over the most simplest things. They looked at you wrong. They said something you didn't like. They didn't answer your phone calls in a timely fashion. They owed you some money. They just stupid shit. Some bridges are more easier to cross than others. Some bridges you can't cross back at all. I know we look at it like, man, like it depends on how long you know somebody. Tonight we're gonna talk about it. First thing I want to say, when you have a reconciliation or something like that, you gotta know what the real issue is. I ain't talking about the surface level. Like you gotta go to the root. You gotta understand what exactly is the beef. Was it cheating? Was it consistent lying? Was it violation of a moral compass? Was it something that they did that you just really wasn't rocking with? You can't fix the leak until you find the hole. You got to know exactly what the issue is before you can sit down and have a conversation on what the actual issue really is. See, a lot of times people do surface level shit. We're not doing surface level tonight. All right? Now, for me, I'm going to tell you, one of the biggest things for me when it comes to anybody that I have a beef with, ego. The biggest wall in the world is built by ego. I used to avoid conversations because I didn't want to admit that I contributed to the failure. And I used to sit alone sometimes and I used to be like, my pride is not worth my peace. Pride, it forces you to stay in resentment. Maturity forces you to seek understanding. Like, I can't rest knowing that I'm beefing with somebody over something, so it could be something so stupid, and I'm beefing. My lady, my homies, kids, whoever. if I'm beefing with you and it ain't over nothing legit, like no blood was shed, no money was lost, nobody got hurt, none of that other stuff, then I gotta feel like, man, what is this really about? I had a homie. We're gonna talk about it. I had a homie long time ago. This dude was a dope dude, right? I grew up with him. And we got into it over a female. And we got into it over a female that was supposed to have been my female at the time. And at that time, she was definitely a promiscuous woman. She was promiscuous before we even knew what being promiscuous was. You know what I'm saying? She was definitely a for the streets, as they like to call it now. And so one day I called her phone. I called her house phone. And we was talking, and she was politicking with me for a little bit, and then I heard him in the background. I'm like, what the hell? You know, he's over there. So I asked, naturally, you know, I'ma ask, yo, what's the deal? What's going on over there? Oh, it was him, her friend, and another homie. The other homie was dealing. Another one of my homies, they was cousins. They was over there. So you got two of my homies over here kicking it with you. And so I already knew what type of time they was on. I knew what type of time they was on because we had ran the two-man game plenty of times, just not with her. But we had ran the two-man game plenty of times, so I knew what it was. But I was just shocked that it was my homie, and it was my other homie. Y'all over here with my so-called girl. I couldn't come out the house, so you know I'm pissed. I'm heated. Pops wouldn't let me out the crib, so I'm heated. Like, yeah, this shit don't sound right. Whatever the case was. Now, my homie, he had a girl. So I'm wondering, like, why you over here two-man and without me at my supposedly girl house? I ain't say nothing. I kind of was in the hating space. So his girl called me looking for him because, like I said, we used to always be together. And so I'm like, shit, I don't know, man. He probably at my girl house. I don't know. God damn it, go ask him. Call over there type shit. So I told her this, and I guess she did call over there. She ain't answer. So I put two and two together. I already knew what they was on. So it was what it was, you know, fair game. So then the next day, he hit me up. He like, yo, pull up. I want to holler at you. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll pull up. I'll come holler at you. Let's chop it up. I walked in the crib and he locked the door behind him. I ain't paying no attention to the shit because it wasn't no need for me to pay attention to it. And all of a sudden, his mans come out the room after he unlocked the door and stole off me. Rocked my shit. I ain't even see it coming. That's how much I wasn't paying attention. So I go after him. Old boy come rush me from behind. So we going at it. And all of a sudden, my homie little sister come out the room. And she get in on it too. So it's 3-on-1. It's me by myself, which is crazy. You know, the girl was more harder than both the dudes. So I ended up getting jumped, which, like I said, I was young. And he like, yeah, you told my girl, ooh, and all this and all that. So we got into it. Now, mind you, like, again, this was my man's. We was together quite a lot. But he was a tender, I was a tender, so cooler heads wasn't prevailing in this situation. So I ended up fighting. I ended up fighting him again because I called him one-on-one after that incident. And he was a big, stocky, strong dude. So I wasn't. He got the best of me that day too. Yeah. So twice in 1 week. So we fell out. We stopped talking. And this was before I had went to juvie. After I went to juvie like a week later. And so we never got a chance to reconcile after that. Because I went to juvie. I went to juvie for 3 months. And then after I got out of juvie, I moved back to Chicago. So we didn't get a chance to chop it up, but like I said, we was together, me and him, we was homies for like good 3-4 years. So we was homies, we was cool. And so after I got out of juvie, it took like 9 years, and this story ain't long. It took me like 9 years to come back and visit Minnesota. So MySpace was popping back then. This is how I found all my homies that I had in Minnesota. This is how I found all my homies. So I ran into him on MySpace, and I reached out to him, and we chopped it up. We chopped it up for a nice little minute. The first conversation, we chopped it up. It was crazy. It was a crazy conversation because we both was young and stupid. And he was like, yo, I had been trying to reach out and find you, but nobody knew where you was. And first of all, I was just young and stupid because he was my man's. So we had a nice, long 3-4 hour conversation, man, just chopping it up, catching up. He's like, man, I tried to reach out, tried to find you, tried to, make amends. It just wasn't in the cards. And so the funny thing about this story is every time we'll talk, we'll be like, yo, we finna link. We need to link up. I'll be like, yo, for sure. Yeah, we need to catch up. So we would talk. We would make sure we talk at least once a week, right? Just chopping it up. Kids, life, family, rap, the streets, whatever. We was just chopping it up. And so every time we could have linked up, we didn't link up. And this is why it bothers me so much now to this day, because I had opportunities. I was in Minnesota. He was in Minnesota. We just couldn't figure out times and shit like that because I was on a time crunch. When I came back to visit, I was on a time crunch. And so, or when I'm coming to Minnesota, he leaving. He going out of town. So we never had a chance to chop it back up, right? But again, I heard from the man at least once a week. You know what I'm saying? I heard, Eric, what up? I heard from him at least once a week. So when I didn't hear from him, it was a few weeks that had passed and I hadn't heard from him, right? This is why reconciliation and getting up with your people is so key. I hadn't heard from him. And I was just like, yo, this is unnormal. Like, I used to hear from the man. What's happening? So I go on his page and it's RIP, I miss you, and all this, just a bunch of this going down. I'm like, hold up. I usually keep in contact with this dude. Now, we fell out over a female, right? We didn't talk for about 9 years. And it was my female that we fell out about, but he had a female, and I was on some jealousy ass shit because you on a 2-man with my girl and her friend and my homie. Y'all on a 2-man and it's my girl. Like, so she was promiscuous before we even knew what promiscuous was. So when I'm seeing all these RIPs and shit, it blew me. Like, it bothered the hell out of me. I ain't gonna hold you. So, seeing that, it threw me for a loop because this is the time that, like I said, time was there. We had all this time and all these plans and all these conversations to chop it up with each other, but ego and pride got in the way of that. My ego was, I ain't making the first move. Yeah, I'm out here, I'm visiting, but I ain't making the first move because the last time I got up with you niggas, ended up getting jumped. So even though I was a shorty, I was a kid, but it still hinders in the back of my mind, like, what if your ass set me up again type shit? So I spent a long time sitting there wondering, like, damn, I should have got up with this nigga. Like, we should have got up. We should have got up. And the crazy thing about it is, he ended up getting killed, and it was like, damn, I ain't even get a chance to make amends with you. I mean, we made amends over the phone, and it's cool, but you don't really make amends over the phone. When you beefing with somebody, or somebody that you love and that you care about, the love ain't real to y'all face to face. You know what I'm saying? That's when the love is real. We don't want to always be the first one to make the first move, and that's what it was with me. It takes courage to do that. You know what I'm saying? The courage required to make the first move, it's hard. Not everybody has that. The strong person is the one that initiates the conversation. And I think we tried. You reach out without needing an apology in return. And I think for me, I ain't really necessarily need an apology. I just needed, like I said, we were kids. We didn't know that there was plenty of fish in the sea and all that. We didn't know that stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you get into fights and arguments with your girl or with your guy, man, a simple text can fix that. You know what I'm saying? Not to fight. Because sometimes you got to look back and be like, yo, this stuff is not that important. It's not that important to be beefing over the most stupidest shit. Like, we beef over the dumbest shit and then get mad when time is gone because now you're trying to figure it out. So I think when I get into it with people, I don't think I'd be looking for an apology. I think more so an understanding. Like, we got to understand exactly what it is, First of all, when you're trying to reconcile any relationship, any friendship, family, whatever, first thing you got to do is stop blaming. Don't do the blame game. Take responsibility for what you did, what you felt your part was. And let them know why the situation went left. All right, look, man, I felt disrespected by you being at my girl house with my girl. And y'all trying to run a 2-man on my girl, like, that's my girl. We done been here before. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you let them know, I felt disrespected when you did that type shit. And I think that's how the conversation went. I said, yeah, we were kids, we were young, but that shit was disrespectful, bro. And so when you open up the door and you let the ground, all right, look, man, I felt disrespected. I felt slighted. This is why what happened. This is why what happened. This is why I moved the way that I moved. Blah, 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 XA. And it's okay to express that because you ain't playing favorites. You just speaking where you feel like shit went wrong. You're not attacking them. You actually just having a conversation. And that opens the door up for genuine dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Like, focus on how you felt, not how that person fucked up. You just explain, like, dog. Even like when you get into it with your girl. Like when you get into it with your girl or your guy, and you're sitting here and listening. And I'm a big advocate for this. Like, sometimes you just gotta just be like, you know what? I was wrong. You get more feeling out of just, listen, I was wrong. Like you actually genuinely know you was wrong. Listen, I was wrong. Straight up. All right. Reconciliation cannot begin with people who are not willing to admit their contribution to the fallout. You know what I'm saying? Like, I accept my responsibility. If I am part of the reason why we fell out, why I withdrew, like I've pulled back emotionally, and I yelled, you yelled, whatever the case is, you co-signing that you was wrong. You co-signing to your fault. A lot of people ain't doing that. And that's why a lot of these arguments expand, because nobody's taking accountability. Nobody's honest. You got people who are too busy focusing on trying to be right instead of fixing it. Everybody be like, man, forgiveness. Well, do you forgive me? Nah, forgiveness is for yourself. Straight up. It stops you from being resentful. All right, you gotta earn that. You gotta give people a chance to earn their trust back, and they gotta earn your trust back. Trust is earned back daily, though. You could forgive them. You could forget, like I forgave, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, I was what? I was 14, 13, 14. I liked it, that girl. I ain't gonna hold you. So I forgave, bro, for that. And I'm glad that before he left this earth, we was able to chop it up and come to an understanding on why whatever happened. But forgiveness is for you. People got to earn that trust back. He was really trying to get up with me, kick it with me, politic with me. And I was just cool with the over the phone conversations, because I wasn't trying to, like I said, put myself in a situation, because the backdoor shit do be real. And I got backdoored, at not in a physical sense, but in a literal sense, because motherfuckers backdoored the hell out of me, and it was my fault for being so gullible. Forgiveness is the start. Rebuilding trust is the journey. Like it don't stop at man, I'm sorry, my bad, let's accept my apology. Nah, you got to put some work in behind that. I ain't accepting no my bad. Nah, you got to put some work in. The trust ain't gonna be there. I'm not too trusting of people nowadays because of this situation right here. I'm not too trusting of people nowadays. Straight up. I feel like if it wasn't a non-negotiable, like everything that we did, if it wasn't something that was disloyal, or some blood was shed, or some money was took, or something like that, then I feel like, yeah, we can sit down and we can sit down and talk. But you got to keep it in the back of your mind that this might happen again. Might not have been a one-time thing. This might happen again. So you got to be okay with the fact that, and be ready to stand on and walk away if this happens again. Reconciliation is not a guarantee of future immunity. Like you crossed me once. We worked it out. We talked it out. And that's even in relationships. I lied. I cheated. You lied. You cheated. We talked it out. We figured it out. But just because we talked about and figured it out on that one situation don't mean every time if this happens again that this is what we're going to do every time. We're going to sit here and talk about it, work it out, and try to fix it. Nah, I'm a damn dummy if I keep letting you play in my damn face. Nah, we ain't doing that. You got to put it clear. The consequences on the table is this. If we sit down and come up with a contract and you violate it again, that shit it. All bets is off. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I like having over the phone conversations, because in person, we all know how them relationships be when you're in a relationship and they be like, I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk to you. Come close. Come here. Let me talk to you. We know what let me talk to you mean. So a lot of times I be cool with the over the phone shit because I need to get my point across. Because let me talk to you don't really get my point across. You know what I'm saying? It's a once in a moment thing, and then we right back at it. So let me talk to you. Don't work with me. We gotta have that talk, like really, really talk. I want to really talk. Don't try to reconcile at 2 a.m. after drinking. I swear, I swear to God, man. Like, if y'all beefing, don't try to beef. Don't try to reconcile over food. Don't try to reconcile over sex. Don't try to drunk text, drunk call. Nah, chief. You gotta wait till we both got clear minds and clear heads, and then we'll figure that out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta schedule that like a board meeting. On time, on your A game, taking this shit serious. You know what I'm saying? It deserves that type of level of respect. Like, we beefing. Like, this might be the end of us. If it's a relationship and we together, this might be the end of us. So in order for us to do that, we gotta come with our A game. Then you gotta ask yourself, why are you trying to reconcile? Fear, loneliness, or do you just really believe in that person this much that y'all can work it out and get through anything? You gotta ask yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta ask yourself, like, what is the purpose of this reconciliation? Why are we trying to reconcile? You know what I'm saying? What is the goal here? Are we doing this because we're afraid to be alone? You know? Or because we genuinely believe that the connection is worth fixing? Like I said, there are some bridges that you cannot cross back once you have crossed and burned them down. Yes, I truthfully believe that. But there are other bridges that, okay, they're not really burnt. They halfway burnt, but we can fix it. So you got to sit down and ask yourself, why are we trying to be cool with this person again? And then once you do reconcile, you got to know that the friendship, the relationship, whatever the case is, it's not going to be the same. Tear that blueprint up. That design failed. You got to build a new one. We agreed to not yell during conflict. We agreed to check on each other daily for the next 90 days or 30 days or whatever. Like, this is not the old foundation where everybody just did what they wanted to do. Nah, we got to have new rules of engagement now. Trust is rebuilt by micro actions, not miracles. It's not going to happen overnight. Just because we cool and we done made up and we back on talking level, it don't mean everything gonna go back to the way it was just like that. We had a problem with communication. All right. Be reliable now to small texts. If it was about money, be reliable and on time with small payments. You owe me some money. You tell me you gonna pay me Friday, I expect you to pay me Friday. I don't expect me to have to come look for you. You gonna keep it a buck and you gonna show up on time. I ain't gotta come look for you because you already a man of honor, a woman of honor, and you gonna be there and you gonna pay it on time. Show up consistently. If you really a changed person, show up consistently. Like, I had a conversation earlier. Let me tell you, a lot of times people will be like, people can't change. I'm living proof that people can change. I know I get on here and I talk my shit about dudes and women alike. I don't hold no favoritism, but I know that deep down inside, I'm a good person. I got a good heart. I allow too much shit and too many people to play in my face, but I still show love. I still show support. I still show an understanding because I believe in putting people together. I do. I really believe in giving people second chances. Some people take what I say on social media and they run with it. Yes, I am being myself. I am telling my story. I'm telling my truths. I'm telling the things that I had to adapt from. I'm not doing it to please anybody or make anybody like me, because truthfully, I could really care less if you like me or not. I'm gonna always be true to me, though. Always. I think a lot of times people get intimidated by me because I say the shit that they be scared to say. I don't move to the beat of everybody else's drum. I speak very well. So once you forgive, right? You made that choice to forgive. You don't keep bringing up the disagreement. You forgave. You moved on. Y'all move forward. You don't bring up the past, every mistake, every time you argue. The minute you say, I forgive you and we can fix this, that offense didn't occur anymore. Every time we argue, you bringing it back up, though. Y'all arguing about the dishes not being washed, but then she brings up, and let's not forget that you cheated 5 years ago. What? What? I promise you, this is how a good amount of women. This is how a good amount of women think. I swear, y'all could be arguing about why the dishes in the garbage ain't been took out. And then bring up, and let's not forget on another note, you cheated 5 years ago. I'm sorry. What does that have to do with this? That weaponization of the past, it kills the future. It's like no matter what I do, you're going to keep bringing that shit up. Even though you said you forgave, but you're going to keep bringing that shit up. Stop listening to the promises of change. Look at the commitment. Look at the effort. Instead, they changed and they consistently making time for change. They're making time for counseling, making time for growth. They're making time for you. So you got to stop. I mean, the words sound good. Don't get it twisted. But actions are the only currency of commitment. The problem is too big for the both of you. Look at your support system. Turn around and talk to your support system, and it's not admitting a failure by getting second opinions from somebody that both y'all trust. It's about investing in the actual change, because you can get out here and yell to the mountaintops, I changed. Sometimes we need a referee to understand the play and understand the history and guide us down a different path. But if one person is doing all the explaining and the other one is just silently receiving, the repair will fail. Both parties must be vulnerable to the shame of the failure and the efforts for the fix. I can't fix this by myself, and I'm not going to. It must be 100-100, not 70-30. Straight up. Healing takes time. Let me just say that so people can understand. Healing takes time. It's not one of those things where it's just gonna happen overnight because you said sorry and now we can move on from it and we can talk about it. No. Healing takes understanding. It takes time. Agreeing to spend more time in groups and public settings before with each other, that's a step to take. You want to jump back into the intimacy and they ain't ready for that yet. It happens. You got to create a safe space for me to come back into your life. If I know we fucked up and I know we messed up, you got to create a safe space for us to work that out. It don't move on my time or your time, but you gotta create that space. And then on top of that, you gotta create new memories, new positive memories that outweigh the bad ones. We can't keep dwelling on that. Intentionally planning. I know we don't ever get a chance to go out, but tonight we gonna go out. Let's start a new tradition. Let's not argue and worry about why I ain't been around the last 5 Christmases or the last 5 Thanksgivings or whatever the case is. Let's build that now. Let's work on it now. You don't erase the past. You just override it for whatever you're trying to build for the future. All right? Here's the thing, too, reconciliation. You got to watch out for the people around you, too, because they might not want to see y'all become cool again. They might be invested in you leaving. Girl, ain't you tired of him cheating? Dude, she ain't never going to change, bro. She ain't going to never hear you out. Ain't you tired of her? Type shit. So, you got people out here that I encourage you to go backwards. Like, you must protect reconciliation. Like, y'all really want this to work out. Y'all going to make it work. Look, whatever external negativity comes from over there, only thing that matters is internal. Only share the repair process with people that that's going to root for you. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. So although you may forgive, it don't mean your friends and family going to forgive the situation. So that's where, you got to keep it on just, all right, listen, outside don't matter. What matters is whatever we got going on. It's a decision that you renew daily, forgiveness. Like, especially when the old thoughts pop up. Because let's be real, you're going to have them thoughts in your head. You're going to have them thoughts in your head. You're going to have moments in life where you beefing and you mad and damn, they just keep doing this and they just keep doing that. So you honoring to repair. You're honoring to repair it. Mental discipline is the key to peace, to lasting peace. You don't wait for the engine to blow up before you finally get an oil change, right? So you start scheduling like weekly check-ins to see where y'all at. If you're in a relationship, this is good. Take 10 minutes out the week just to discuss what y'all worked this week and what you felt like helped you this week, and stuff like that, because it prevents small problems from becoming massive crisis that can't be fixed. So sometimes you got to do those check-ins with your people. You smarter now. You know what to look for. You know your partner's weakness. You use that knowledge to protect them, not punish them. A lot of times people will use, all right, I forgave you to their advantage, because now you remember I forgave you, right? Now people feel guilty for all their wrongs that they did, and they want to be forgave, and shit like that. So believe me, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's how it works out. You gotta know. You gotta be more knowledgeable about the situation. If money was the issue, y'all reviewing y'all finances as much as y'all can. Y'all jointly committed to preventing the reoccurrence of what got y'all beefing in the first place. Public affirmation. This is key. I see a lot of people get into it in private, in public, and they tear each other apart. They never, they always complain about what they partner isn't doing. So sometimes you do have to go above and beyond just to let them know, man, I see your progress. I see your growth. I see your changes. I'm proud of you. You speaking highly to those same friends and family that felt like y'all wasn't supposed to make it. Y'all wasn't supposed to be here. I think with that, though, you're instilling confidence in the person that they are being seen. And I think a lot of times that's what people want. You're not going to go back to the way things were. You are moving forward to a better way. Repaired relationship is stronger than the original because it survived the test. The test but y'all made it. Y'all fell out. I wasn't talking. Y'all was beefing. Y'all was mad at each other. And now y'all back. Y'all back better than ever. You operate with that same strength and wisdom, though. Maintenance plan is 100. If you truly gonna do maintenance, and you truly gonna push for something better, then you gonna do everything that you're supposed to do. You gonna do it together. So, you're gonna do it together. You're gonna do it together. And that's just how it is. I think what it is you will push to get it right. Real talk. You on the team and you committed to winning. Committed to winning the championship. And I think that's what it's about, you know. It's about winning. It's about understanding, and it's about putting it together. Even when you think like even when you think like everything is even when you think like everything is, you know, I think what it is though, you just got to be committed to it. You can't half-ass, you can't play around with it, you can't just take your time. Reconciliation is the ultimate act of courage. It requires intentional vulnerability and disciplined action. Like, you got to be ready. If you're willing to do the hard work, the repair relationship will be stronger than the one that was broken. The real explanation for this is simple. The best relationships are not the ones that are never to break. They're the ones that learn how to fix the broken pieces. All right. So even if you, you know, I don't trust them relationships that ain't never had an issue. I don't. I'll give me something that has been broken and put back together. That's the relationship I admire. I choose repair over regret. Y'all already know what it is. January 14th, man. No, I'm tweaking. Just reading the message. January 10th, 2026. I'm back. I'm ready to get it popping. Live show. I'll explain all this later podcast. Your boy Big Smash is definitely trying to put on a show. Bringing entertainment to the fold. Y'all know how we rocking. Y'all know how we coming. Tickets are on sale. They are $20. I know originally was $10, but they are $20 now. And with that $20, you get a drink. One drink. Don't say I don't never look out. Y'all already know what it is. I will see y'all tomorrow, man. Listen, I got a special guest pulling up tomorrow. So we're going to be lit tomorrow. Tomorrow night we lit. And I'll see y'all good people then. Y'all already know what this is. See you when I see you. Get it when I get you. Talk about it when I talk about it. I see y'all soon. And people do change. Don't let nobody tell you people don't change. People do change. It's up to you to see if that person changes or not. Not worrying about what other people think about that person. You got to worry about what you think about that person. Well, you always treating blah, blah, blah. You got to stop worrying about how they treat other people. How do they treat you? How do they move with you? Okay? Y'all already know what this is, man. Catch y'all when I catch y'all.